Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what may be the final werewolf scene streamed on Google Hangouts. Tonight let's see, with Jacob and Dorian. Jacob heading to the training grounds, predicting that Dorian's either going to be there or one other place he knows where he is.
Yeah, the training grounds sound good. Sounds good,
Mm.
and yeah, he's like going at it at one on one of the dummies.
Yeah, and as you fight or train, you can hear fairly audible um, footsteps heading towards you on grass and then on the hard dirt of the training grounds. And you just hear Jacob's voice. And you just say, "Hey, Dorian."
He'll turn around, and I have to roll rage, but he'll try not to. Can roll. Apparently, I can decide to use willpower after, so I'll choose to probably use willpower after. Yeah. Oh wait, that's 2 successes. Okay, he's not about to rage. Well, not about to frenzy, so he grinds his teeth and just closes his eyes for a bit, and then just opens them, taking a breath, and goes, "Hey, Jacob."
Hey, man. Jacob doesn't really seem to register your rage at all. Or at least doesn't appear to. I've Well, I told you I'd look into the thing for you, and I found some stuff out. A lot of it's kind of strange. I'm thinking there's probably a lot of misinformation out there. I was hoping you could help me sift through some of it. Um, he kind of goes through. He goes through his phone. Let's see. Where was it? There we go. Yeah, I was looking into your uncle.
So, what did you find? How weird was it?
Well, you know, I say weird because apparently the reputation surrounding this guy is positively fucking glowing. From what my contacts have discovered, is that he was a bit of an up and comer in his time, kind of a bit of a cult figure among young lawyers. Had alcohol issues, but then well just kind of turned everything around. He's kind of a success story according to the city. It's strange. Um, he's kind of like a lawyer version of me in regards to reputation. Kind of considered a hotshot youngster on um, in law, in city law. Uh, Tends to go hard on repeat offenders, but donates a lot of money and time to at-risk youth programs. And he's booked for a fundraiser gala. It's called Returning Point. Apparently, it's an organization that helps young people recover from substance abuse.
Huh. There's, I mean,
I wasn't able to find much on your mother, because everything went down in Montana. It's largely out of my reach. But a friend of mine called in a favor and got some basic facts. One thing that did stick out to me is that she's apparently listed as your mom's listed as having died of heart failure, but no one requested an autopsy.
that's not normal.
Well, usually autopsies aren't performed unless there's some sort of it's suspicion that there was foul play in the death, or there is some sort of confusion. But the way in which she's reported to have died and how the body was dealt with is very, shall we say, convenient. An autopsy request was requested, and well, she was cremated shortly after. Which obviously, if you're looking to perform a murder, is well, I mean, there's one thing you definitely don't want to do, and there's one thing you definitely do want to do, because cremation is a very effective way of legally disposing of a body.
And you definitely don't want an autopsy.
You definitely don't want an autopsy. And it was the type of death is a common one. It's not something that would arouse much suspicion. It's not something that would attract a lot of attention. It's not going to raise any eyebrows. People are going to think this was natural cause.
So it's almost too convenient.
Yeah. No suspicions in regards to the death. And Mr. Atkins himself is a turnabout success story, which is interesting. But I haven't been able to find much that ties him to the death of your mother. So I actually wanted to find out what you know about all this, because obviously there's misinformation in play, and I intend to find out what it is. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to find much about the circumstances to begin with, just because, again, your mother's death took place in the state of Montana, which is just way too far out of my reach. But a lot of everything else sticks out to me. So, is there any other things concerning your mom and Mr. Atkins that you know that you think could help? But just anything in general, because usually the more information I have, the more I can do.
I mean, when I first came here, I kind of looked forward to living with my uncle. I had heard that he was a good lawyer, that he, like you said, he was a big and upcoming, a big shot in the city as far as law goes. But one night I just overheard a conversation he was having with some mob boss dude, that questioned him about how ready he was to keep him out of trouble. And my uncle told him about, sorry, as I check on the backstory.
Take your time.
Yeah, he answered that he had arranged for his own sister, so my mother, to be killed when she began to know too much about something called Aldous Enterprise. He killed her to protect that fucking Enterprise, his own sister.
What's the name of this enterprise?
Aldous. Ardus.
Okay. Well, that's something I can look into. Because I can look into the close connection of that and see what they're up to.
And that's when I fucked off. Couldn't take it.
Hmm. Okay. Seems like he's being propped up by artists then.
Probably.
I might need to do a bit of looking into artists. They might be responsible for his success. If that's true, then all of the pieces are going to start coming together real fast. And then we can act. You also know that he's going to show up to this gala.
Not sure if it's a wise idea if I go. If I can keep my rage down. But probably have someone keep an eye.
Hmm. You know, that would actually fit quite well in at a fundraiser like that. Help people rehabilitate from substance abuse. Kind of something that the police are quite invested in for obvious reasons. I'll see if I can get an invitation. See if I can get a +1 as well. Wasn't there some Glasswalker asshole who hacked into everybody's phones?
Yeah, I heard about him, apparently.
Yeah. Well, maybe he can actually, hack into the enemy's phones this time. Might see what I can do about that.
And he'll nod.
Because I want to see. The main thing is, I want to see if your uncle's a tool or a plier.
Come again?
I don't know if he's a pawn or a player.
Ah,
If he's just a piece on the board, or if he's the person calling the shots. And since the time that's passed between you witnessing that conversation and now, whether he is a player. Because if that's the case, then I don't want to be running into this threat, or at least blind like we normally do. Because obviously, I would assume he's a regular human, but if he's making larger scale decisions, then he's going to have some form of protection. And I just want to make sure that he doesn't have that.
he'll nod.
But it seems like, from what you've told me, the greater villain may be artists right here, so I'm going to do some looking into them.
And he'll
Seems,
nod.
hmm. Given that you witnessed a conversation saying he was going to arrange for his sister's death.
That he had. My mother was already dead at that point. That's why I came here.
I was saying he had arranged for it. Okay, sorry. Okay, good to establish your timeline. Should have asked that beforehand, but still. I have to wonder how he arranged for it.
That I don't know.
Because that's quite far out, Montana. That's not exactly. I suppose he could have some old contacts. He's from Montana.
Yeah.
But we already know where he's gonna be at. I mean, I trust your word. Now it's a case of who else is involved in this. Because if he was instructed to do this by someone from Ardus, well, I'm a figure you want to shot at them as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can get his phone tapped or something. This might require a Fiage or a Ragabash. Because I'll say this, I have quite a lot of sway over the police department, but probably not enough to get your uncle's phone tapped. He's too high profile and he has too many friends in this city bureaucracy. And if anything, the enemy of the police force is a well prepared lawyer. So, I'm probably not going to be able to do that without costing me pretty much my entire network. Jigga kind of thinks to himself for a second. He kind of puts his hand on his forehead, just kind of takes a moment out. He looks fairly relaxed. I think this gala might be our next big hit. I want to see how deep your uncle's in on this. What the hell Ardus is, who's running it, who your uncle's contact is to Ardus, and how deep in with the one they are, because obviously I don't really think. I'm hard pressed to believe that this is a coincidence that a kinfolk and the mother of a Garu is murdered to protect some random corporation. This reeks of Wick.
He'll just nod.
And I'd find it unlikely that someone would kill a relative to protect some faceless corporation.
There's definitely more to it.
I mean, it happens in crime. There is the possibility that this is innocuous, but it's unlikely. Even the criminals of the underworld, well, even the worst of them, they generally understand the value of family or brotherhood. There's always some sort of emotional connection to the organization, helps breed loyalty.
And he'll he'll just go, yeah. Well, apparently he doesn't.
Yeah, which is driving me to conclude that he's likely been corrupted, but I'm gonna have to do a bit more inquiry to figure out for sure. I just wanted to give you an update and yeah, see if you had anything. So artist, that's good. That actually gives me a real lead. That combined with the gala, I think things are starting to come together a little bit, or at least a plan of action. Might see if I can even meet him at this gala. If I get up face to face with him, I'm going to be able to suss out a few things.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll see if I can get into the gala. If not, might need to pull in a favor or find someone I can. But I think I should be able to. I think I should be able to deal with it just fine. What about you? What have you been up to?
Mostly training and that mission that we went on to at the hospital.
Yeah, I heard that turned out a success.
Yeah, turned out it was fucking weird fighting enemies in the dark, but thank God I'm a werewolf.
Trust me, you're going to be dealing with worse things than fighting Banes in the dark. Particularly when the dark's alive.
I mean, the dark in that instance was created by a teammate. He wanted to put the creature in the dark, but I was there too.
Oh, yes. This is a trick I think Havaka attempted to use in his challenge, but it didn't quite go the way he expected it to. I remember the arena started to dim, but then it brightened again. Yeah, shame how that challenge went. I was hoping he'd be able to pull off the underdog victory, but I mean, I guess that's why underdogs are underdogs. You don't expect them to win.
Until not.
Are you in Havaka's pack? I know it's Icarus, him, and were you the third person? I thought he had 3 people.
I'm still looking for a pack.
Well, I'm looking for pack mates. If you can ever, you know, move past the COD thing.
I'm trying to, so I mean, you seem like one of the good guys. I think if I can get over it. Actually, I think being in a pack with you might help me get over it.
Well, I mean, I would be honest. I probably wouldn't be willing to have you in my pack until you got over the issue. I mean, it would be pretty difficult having a pack mate who flew off, who was at risk of flying off a handle every time they heard my voice.
I'll not like chuckle and nod. That's more than fair. But I think maybe we could go on missions together.
Yeah,
That might help me.
I've got a couple of things lined up for myself. Then there's that issue along Millionaire Mile that I have to look into at some point. But to be honest, I'd probably look into that alone. From what I hear, that's a pretty dangerous place to be, even for us. Seems like something.
Isn't it dangerous for you to go alone?
Less so for me, more so for younger Garu with, to be blunt, less powerful gifts.
Or not?
But we'll see. I probably wouldn't mind the help, to be honest. But yeah, don't like putting people unnecessary amounts of risk. It's why I didn't. That's why I didn't bring Roy with me for my Afro challenge. Challenge of that magnitude. It's if he were a Foston, I would have probably brought him along, even if it was a bit risky. But as a Cleaf, that's too soon.
He'll nod.
We lost. I lost. Got good Foston of my tribe who assisted me in that challenge.
I'm sorry to hear.
Is what it is.
I mean,
Just sad we
from
couldn't all come back.
from what I hear, we die often.
We do. That's why you don't see many Afros, or even that many Adrians. A lot of Garu died before their time. Just kind of the nature of being a soldier in a cosmic war. Life expectancy is just not that high, even as powerful as we are. This goes to show the severity of the threat.
And I have to be one of the guys on the front line.
Yep, you'll have it harder than most. So be ready for that.
I'll do my best.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
But yeah, I look forward to going on missions with you. It should help me.
Yeah, I hope it does. Needless to say, I'd like to be able to approach you without necessarily having my head cut off. So it's a win-win for all involved, in my opinion.
I mean, you kicked my ass last time, but I get it.
Well, it was just training. So, what are your thoughts on everything that's been happening in the sub so far?
I mean, that guy you were talking about, that glasswalker that came in and did hacked everyone's phone. It's an asshole move to make, but he does have a point. If he can do it, somebody that's with the enemy can probably do it too.
He's a glasswalker. I already knew that. I've seen glasswalkers do way fucking gnarlier things and break into my bloody phone. I mean, I damn well say that's a bloody prerequisite. You want to be a glasswalker, you better be ready to unlock my fucking phone. Jesus, you can't do that. Well, what is that to the fucking name?
I mean,
but I don't really need him to hack into my phone to give me a lecture on fucking security when I run a police precinct. Seems pretty obnoxious from my eyes. Like, I already know. I've already accounted for the fact that my precinct could be compromised. It's why I had a glasswalker wipe my fucking precinct systems when internal affairs came round. I mean, I guess he doesn't know that because that was before his time, but still. It's like, of course we know we're not secure. We're fighting a war here. Well, that's stupid. But Perhaps it's just me being a philodox.
I mean, you could talk to him, see if he did get any information, see how good he is, see if he can do any of that gnarly
I
shit you're
mean,
talking about.
yeah, if it was a fucking, if it was an application, if it was some sort of some way for him to say, "Hey, look how good I am," like some sort of audition, then I probably wouldn't have minded it as much. I mean, it's still a bit of a dick move to pull, but I mean, gotta get attention somehow, and it's kind of sad to say that that's one of the more respectful ways of doing it in our society. But there you go. That's how low the bar has fallen. But to establish some sort of moral AC up to it, Jacob just kind of shakes his head and kind of squints his eyes very sardonically, or like he's kind of squinting, like he's failing to see something. I don't see it personally, but I guess perhaps I am not really the audience he is trying to preach to. Maybe that's why he's probably trying to preach to people who are less knowledgeable on this subject and people who are less attuned to technology. I mean, I'm pretty invested in the city of New York, so he probably doesn't need to worry about me. It's everybody else he's probably worrying about and their security.
And he'll nod.
But yeah, we'll say that though. See if you can find some contacts in the city. If there's one thing that I can say will actually apply in New York that won't really apply in many other subs is that having a lot of human contacts and allies and connections is going to be pretty useful.
Oh, I know some people.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a much harder time with it than myself or this Glasswalker, I assume, because you're an Iron, but depending on your natural charisma and some gifts you might have, you might be able to pull it off. You might
I
at least
mean,
be, I assume you'd be able to make some friends at least.
I have some useful, well, one useful friend and some useful acquaintances. I have a friend, Megan. She's an activist. She's at all those. Well, when there's a shit, forgot what you call them. When there's a march going on, she's mostly
Like
there most of the time.
a protest.
A protest. She's there most of the time. And there's when I lived on the streets for a bit. Met a guy called himself Raggedy Andy. Seems to know a hell of a lot that goes on in the city.
But the Bone Gnoras know Raggedy pretty well.
And if I smile, and there's the apart from you, the only other good cop I've met, Delaney Carter. She took me under her wing for a little bit, took pity of me when I lived in the streets, and well, you're a cop, she's a cop. Having cop friends is always good.
Hmm.
But yeah, keep up. Thank you and tell me when you go on that gala.
Yeah, I'll keep you in the know. I mean, to be honest, I think if you have his address, you can probably wouldn't be that hard for you to just take him out at any time. Really, it's about finding just who else was involved in this cover up and this murder.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll leave it to it. Enjoy yourself. Any I think we went over this before. You're good with your hands, you're good with a weapon, you're not good with a gun, right?
Yeah, no, I need training with the gun.
Okay. I think I actually delivered a few of those to the Sept at some point, although no guns are actually supposed to be fired on Sept, so not sure if you were told that, but yeah, it's probably it's a bit of a problem.
I wasn't. Good to know.
Yeah, no, it attracts a lot of attention. We've had police and private corporations come down here in the past, like security firms who get hired out. Just winds up a big fucking mess. I remember when I was a cub, there was a company called Full Force Solutions. Had the park on lockdown, was making it very hard for Guru to get on Sept and such, and just was just creating a huge fucking problem for our activities in general. Basically had a stranglehold over us. Managed to kick him out eventually. I suppose that goes without saying, considering they're not here, but they made some poor choices, connected themselves to the Russian mafia, and well, made it very hard to made it very easy for me to just say, why are they doing business here? They're connected to organized crime. But yeah.
So no firearms. Well,
No
not allowed to
firearms,
fire
no.
with them. Not allowed to fire them.
Fire, well, considering fires can spread, usually not. I mean, obviously we have a furnace. We had the forge, I think. Not sure if that's still there. Need to go check. I mean, I remember I heard of one time where Talate. Oh, you haven't heard of her, but she was a Wendigo agent. And she, when she was a cub, she burnt my former packmate's beard. That was with fire.
The hell?
It was a gift. She summoned for fire. Burn off a poor bastard's beard. So we do have fire, just not really, just to an appropriate scale, considering, we'd prefer not to burn the park down. We have barbecues, we just don't, have bonfires. Unless it's a rite of the departed.
Until not.
But, yeah, as far as nobody told you that, that's always been a fairly big rule, but, now you know.
No, no.
Guess it kind of helps you never good with a gun.
So if I want to train shooting nearly.
Yeah. Some probably just ask the den parents to take you somewhere. I mean, you're an Arun, so it's not like you're not going to be incentivized to learn to fight in every way possible. So if they're saying you shouldn't learn to fight with a gun, you should learn to fight with your claws. Say, I'm a fucking Arun. I should learn to fight in every way possible.
Yeah, tell them.
It's I don't think there's going to be much issue about it. I think they're going to be more than happy, considering you're all supposed to just let you go down to the range and train to your heart's content.
I mean, we don't have to stay on Sept anymore as a cub, so I don't think I have to ask them.
That's true. I need to keep reminding myself of that. So yeah, just head down to the range and knock yourself out, I guess. I think the only issue for you might be age. How old are you?
Let's see. Here's. Let's see how my. Let me make sure.
I'm not. I can't. I'll need to check the books. You'll definitely need ID. You'll definitely need ID. You got an ID?
Yeah, I have ID.
Okay, thank God. Okay. You're probably going to be fine then. I think if you're above the age of 18, might be 21.
Okay.
I think you'll be fine. I'm getting stuck up on specifics. At this point, I'm just rambling. I'll yeah, you knock yourself out of the range. Have a nice day, and I'll see you later, buddy.
Thank you. I'll see you.
Yep, see you around. And yeah, Jacob
Yeah.
will simply.
No, sorry, just a sec.
Jacob will just kind of
Okay.
turn halfway.
Oh no, that was me, because a video started out of nowhere and made noise, so I couldn't hear anything. So I was like, wait, no, he won't say anything. So
okay, that's fine. Jacob will thought he heard something and then didn't.
and with that,
he walks away. And as he says that, I think we can end the scene now.
And yeah, Dorian just keeps on training.
Thank you for playing. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye bye.